You want to restart?
South of the southern wall, further than most dare tread, a party of two crosses the Drit. Young Gianni of the bank, a scholar with a halo of fire, studier of the dark arts, leads in the front of her aged companion, Zero-Shot Watt, a too-kind bounty hunter, a smoke ever in his mouth. Trailing behind is a man. He has been tailing them for 2 cities now, just looking for the right moment to strike. Artemis and his small ferret companion, Zuck. These 3 know not what is in store, but this is their origin story. Welcome to Origins of the Fall, a Numenera podcast. Just a quick preface from the GM. Following this, you'll hear everyone introduce themselves and their characters. One of those characters and players is Sage, who is playing Puffin. She, unfortunately, because of scheduling, could not join us for the first 3 episodes, so you will not meet Puffin until episode 3. We worked her into the storyline in a more organic way. In addition to that, we are also playing a pre-written adventure path by Monte Cook Games called Forgetting Doomsday. This was a GenCon 2018 exclusive. It was also the very first time I ever ran Numenera, was this pre-written adventure for GenCon. So that is copyrighted to Monte Cook Games, but it is only the first 4 sessions. Everything else is going to be homebrew for this podcast. This was just to introduce the players to the system, introduce them to the world, and also to introduce you, dear listener, to the world. So without further ado, please enjoy Origins of the Fall. Hello everyone, my name is Mike. I'll be the GM for this evening and all future playthroughs of this Numenera campaign, Origins of the Fall. Starting to my left, let's introduce our players and their characters. Go ahead.
Hello! So, my name is Terry. My character's name is Gianni of the bank. I'm a mystical nano who bears a halo of fire.
Woohoo.
I'm pretty creepy and I like it.
You're dark and broody.
I'm dark and broody with this super high girly voice. Oh.
Is your life a spinning miasma of darkness?
Always.
Yeah.
I'm Sage. I'm playing What was so funny about that? I'm Sage.
I'm kidding.
It's fine. Keep going. I'm playing Lolly Everglade, aka Puffin, and her mutant bear cub companion, Kiwi. She's a young nano who's only recently left her education. You don't really know a lot about her. She's, very hippy-dippy, tan skin, little puffy cloud of white hair, just covered in necklaces that she has made herself over the years. She tends to seem like she wants to be part of the group, but she can't help but hang back. She's working on it. Is that good?
Yeah, excellent.
Okay, sweet.
Is that good? Did I do good?
Did you do the thing?
Alright, my name is Philip, and my character is Artemis, because I'm just a stealthy jack of all trades that likes to howl at the moon.
Just from time to time, just Tales of the Moon.
Just looks at
I don't know, it's about five days in a row every month,
No big deal.
It's that time of the month.
Yeah, we get to make that joke for him now.
Yay!
My character is Zero-Watt. He is a prepared right who hunts. He's like a 65-year-old man wearing a cape that always looks like it's blowing in the wind.
So let's talk about some of the basics of this game. So everyone at this table is newer to Numenera. You've played once before, but you have never done a campaign. Terry. Other Terry.
Just call me Terry.
You are completely new, but you're not new to RPGs, so that'll help. It's fairly similar to, we've had Pathfinder experience, so we already talked slightly about XP and how I will dish it out throughout the campaign because you do something really cool, but I'll dish out XP because you accomplish something in a fantastic way, you do something creative, because that's what this game is about. It's about being creative and innovative.
And finding things.
And finding stuff. That's a big thing in this game, is finding stuff. When that happens, you get a GM XP. You can turn that into re-roll. You can also turn it into, say you come into a town. I already know someone here, and you give me an XP point, and I create an NPC that you already know. You can also keep XP because you will use it to level up as we go. So you do want to hold on to some XP, but do spend it because I'm going to be handing it out a lot on purpose. Okay, so GM intrusions is something specific to this game. So basically, I can say, I have an XP, do you want me to GM intrude? Which means I make something happen to your character. It can be good, it can be bad, it can be interesting. Say you botch. That's a GM intrusion with no XP. But I can say, here's a GM intrusion. Do you want it for a reward?
The way that guy...
Do you trust the GM? No. But I'll always ask you if you want it. You can always say no. What's going to happen throughout this game? We've already talked about XP. The last thing is difficulty. So there is a nice little cheat sheet here for you guys to reference. And it does talk about difficulty. So if I say difficulty is a task difficulty of 2, that means that you have to roll a 6 or higher to succeed. The easier it is, the lower the number is that you have to roll, just like with anything. They just assign difficulty numbers. The hardest things to do are if you really want to try and go for a nat 20, that's a level 6 kind of thing. So, welcome to the campaign.
Hello.
The name of the campaign is Origins of the Fall. So, here we go.
Yeah, that bodes well, doesn't it?
Winter is coming.
You had a dream in your sleep, Gianni, and it told you that there was something very specific that you needed to seek out in the South. Now, the South is kind of an unexplored territory for everyone who lives in the region. You're from the cities that are in the North. There are civilizations down there, but they are what the city folks call primitive. So it was really difficult for you to find anyone that wanted to come with you. But thankfully, you'd had an interaction with one certain bounty hunter named Zero, and he seems to have been more than happy to come along with you.
Happy's a strong word. I just couldn't stand to let you die out there. You weren't ready for it.
Okay.
You poor thing.
I know. I don't know what I'm doing in my life.
You just graduated from your
I just
school.
graduated from school. I just went to
Just graduated from your Dark Academy.
Right?
Do you tell Zero about your dream, that this is what you need to do, or do you just say that you have a plan to do this?
I tell you about my dream. I'm very forward.
Yeah, you youngins, you should definitely follow your dreams. And it's the job of us old folk to accompany them along the way, help them get to them. Why?
I love him.
He's an old man. He's a nice old man. He's really...
And he has a cool cane.
I know that I'm wheezing.
I'm just randomly stalking her.
Yeah, just for funsies.
Yeah, no, you guys have been traveling south for a while, and you have been getting this, you in particular, Gianni, you've been having this strange feeling that something is following you. You also have Zero, and so you've been setting up perimeters.
Setting up traps. I have traps set up every night. I set a bunch of explosive net traps that I have created. They're my own little invention. So they are
extremely sneaky.
Yeah. And every morning I pick them up.
It helps that you have definitely come into contact with this man's net traps once before.
Yeah, you know how to avoid them.
Luck.
Very lucky.
Yeah, I'm like, I am all about like forward progression and such, but I'm very set in how I trap and how I do things. So like, once you figure out my pattern, you can just kind of like skip on around that and not even care.
And the next one's gonna be 5 feet away.
Exactly. 3 feet. 12 feet.
Was it the pacifier when Vin Diesel has to sing the song so
Yes.
you get through the trap? I'm just like whispering to myself the little incantation. Alright, and with this. Turn around and hop.
Oh god, I forgot about that movie.
I totally did too, and I just had like a
And I
minor
just
heart
totally
attack
remember
flashback. Because I just...
You're welcome.
Well, at first I was like, what are you Oh. That awkward ass moment.
So everyone,
It's when I'm feeling low and lower than the floor.
There is a strange alarm that goes off in all your heads. You're kind of camping outside of their camp. Just because you're tailing them, you're waiting for them to get to a destination so you can run into them organically, but...
How organic?
That's a great question.
Ew.
What time of the month is it?
Just ew.
You hear, there's an alarm that goes off in your head. And it's not in your ears. It is legitimately in your brain. Like something is sending a wavelength directly into your cranium. And it reverberates so loudly that you wake up in the middle of the night.
So Zero wakes up and he has his pistol drawn. And he's like leveling it and he's kind of like pointing it in random directions. Kind of looks like he's got that old man thing going. He's, what the hell's going on right here? And he looks over. Jay, is that you? Are you making all that noise?
Not this time.
Not this time.
I'm taking it that you have woken him up many times in the night.
Oh yeah, that's when I do my best thinking, dark school and all.
Oh my gosh.
I really like that you're playing into that. Okay, anyway.
Alright, yeah, so Zero gets up and he does a perimeter check, checks his traps that are closer to the camp. And he, like, at this point, he still thinks it's like not in his head. He's just trying to figure out where it's coming from.
What about you, Artemis? What are you thinking?
Am I hearing anything?
You
or am
are-
I just hearing them wrestle, like rustle around?
As far as them, yeah, you're in close enough
Right.
proximity. You definitely can hear. I bet you also have a little bit of a peaked hearing, considering your animalistic tendencies. Just a tiny bit peaked.
Hopefully we clarify that for everyone else later on.
Oh no, we'll talk about it. Don't worry. Who howls at the moon?
Well, I'm just gonna say I'm probably sleeping in a tree, so I'm probably still hanging out there, watching this guy.
A quote-unquote tree. We're gonna say it's actually a giant piece of metal sticking out of the ground that's as close to a tree as you can think of. We're in kind of a deserted area, but it's basically a tree. There are multiple of it. You don't know what it is, but it might as well be a tree.
I'm away from all of his so-called traps.
So-called traps, how dare you? I don't hear that, but I am mentally insulted.
That's right, I'm slightly whispering the little tune of where his traps are as he goes around and checks them.
You've actually heard me singing when I'm setting my traps.
Terry, could you roll a d20 for me?
Oh god. Okay. 20.
Okay. You don't remember why you came out here.
Oh shit.
You don't remember, you know you had a dream, but you don't remember the dream.
Typical kid.
I don't like that.
Do you
Zero.
want to share that with Zero?
Yeah,
or...
Zero wanders back into the camp. He kind of like
Oh.
pokes the fire back and he's like, well, I'm not going to sleep with this racket going on.
So, I don't remember what we're doing.
Oh, we're going to go do the, what's it? Your dream. We're following your dream.
Do you remember what was in my dream?
I love how the accent's coming out.
Are you mimicking my accent?
That's what I do.
Are you making fun of
That's
me?
what I've decided my character is like, okay?
Stop.
I won't.
Well, it's funny because that is your real accent,
It really
too.
is, too, and it's great. Okay, keep going.
Oh, well, I mean,
You guys are from the same city. I'm okay with it.
do I remember? I mean, it was really vague. You just said you had to go to a place.
Roll for it. Let's see if she actually informed you in detail.
So
I hope I did.
This would be an intelligence or intellect, right?
Intellect to see how much you retain.
Alright, so whatever the level is, I have edge in that,
Yeah.
so 14.
Yes, you succeed. So she did specifically tell you guys were coming here looking for a particular, ruin Numenera that she saw in a dream that had to do with something historical.
I inform you of that, but in my accent.
I'm not doing your accent, sorry.
Okay, then.
So now you once he brings it up, it comes back to you.
You were fairly insistent, if I remember, because you were running out of the town with nothing as far as supplies.
To be fair, I did have my teddy bear. I was like, clutch my teddy bear.
You have a teddy bear.
I have a teddy bear.
Right, but that's not a supply item. What I'm saying is you were going to die out here if I didn't go with you.
I had a weapon.
I'm gonna say that, by the way, I have a ferret.
By the way,
You now know the purpose of them coming out here, though. Is the other thing too. You definitely
Right.
heard that.
I probably have the ferret going... How close are these metal things sticking out of the ground that simulate somewhat trees?
I
Could
would
he just,
say,
hop along?
Yeah, no, you could. They definitely built. They're almost systematic. Like they're in lines, kind of like hedgerows.
Okay.
So he could definitely jump branch to branch if you wanted to send him on over.
He's, taking after the old man sneaking up on him.
oh man, your ferret's gonna die.
It's gonna die.
He squeaks the little tune in his head.
My heart was happy. Okay.
The alarm starts to dim.
Oh,
Finally.
good. And like Zero makes his way over to his bedroll. He's like, oh, good, finally.
But as it diminishes, yes, you're relieved, I'm sure. But it does seem to Doppler in a direction. So similar to like when you hear a car passing by you at a swift pace, you know which direction it was coming from.
All right. I would like to make a following check.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
I am trained in it, and I'm assuming that uses intellect, so
Yes.
that is 2
And
levels.
this isn't terribly difficult. It's only a difficulty 3.
Okay, so that means it goes down to difficulty
Difficulty?
1.
1?
Yeah, because intellect edge 1, and then following, I'm trained in it.
Yes. Okay.
So down to a 1, so I need a 3.
So you'll be fine, I'm sure, unless you don't.
That is a 5.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Good. You do succeed, and you know exactly which direction it is. It is coming from the southwest, specifically. So if you wanted to track it in the morning, you certainly could. And if you'd prefer to sleep before going, it's probably early morning at this point. It's not quite dawn.
I'm already up then.
I'm already up as well.
Okay,
I'm
so
already
you're gonna
packing.
I'm an
Pack
old
up
person,
camp.
yeah. So yeah, the old man, he walks over to his traps and he's like, ain't none of you got sprung? I was really hoping for some fresh meat. And he kind of picks up his three or four of them and gathers in his wire, coils it up, packs it up, and he's ready to go. Damn. And then when he's doing that, I'm actually going to check for tracks around the area.
Okay.
So identifying tracks, I'm also trained in it, also uses intellect.
I need you to roll for something really quick then.
Do you want him to roll first or me?
I need him to roll first. So go Artemis.
Oh, God.
That is
damn
a
it.
nat 20? Okay.
I am sneaky as shit.
That
am I
is true.
What am I supposed to do?
Apparently
against?
you even know to wipe up your fingerprints. Wipe up your fingerprints from the sand. No, wipe up your fingerprints from the sand.
I'm gonna dust the sand.
I've got the ferret.
Fingerprints.
I've got the ferret walking behind me, just like splashing
Yes.
it up.
Tail.
Yes. I think that's exactly what we're gonna say it was. The ferret
Cannon.
covers your tracks. Cannon.
Can't.
So they're gonna try. Dude, that's a 19.
Oh my god! So you do not find footprints, but you do notice the strange swishing in the sand that looks like it should be like a snake. But it also is like equatable with fur, and that doesn't make sense out here in the desert.
So yeah, I'll actually take up some of it in my hand, and I'll like
You're not,
pinch it and
you're
like
not going to taste it, are
Found,
you?
found a turd.
I sniff at it. Smells like that old
Musk.
musk. Just animal stank. Alright then. And he walks in, he's like, hey, G. That noise is coming from that direction. I'm gonna go check it out.
Okay. As I get my backpack on, I have a little backpack, and I have my little teddy bear wrapped around on my little hip, and I'm just like, let's go. And I skip.
I believe I'm
This is me.
getting kind of meeting halfway with the ferret
Okay.
to communicate and figure out what their plan is going to be.
Okay. That sounds good. So you get together with your little companion.
What's his
and-
name?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good
what
question.
is your ferret's name?
I don't want to keep
He
calling
doesn't
ferret.
have to have a name.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Now,
GM.
now I just want to call him Furry the Ferret.
No!
Exactly.
His name's
He's
Kevin.
not Kevin.
His name's Kyle.
Kyle!
Chad.
Pancake.
It's pancake.
Puddin'.
Puddin'.
Pudding, that's Miguel Tejeda.
Pudding. Let his name be Pudding, so I can call him Puddin'. Because I can't.
Sure, what the hell.
His name's Puddin'.
I named him.
Pudding.
I was thinking that or sock.
Sock would be a
Sock.
good name. Sock's a great name.
Sock it to him.
So sock or Puddin', which one do you want?
Sock.
Sock's a great name.
Anything but pudding.
Sock is a great
He doesn't
name.
like how I say it.
I like it.
Okay,
Alright.
so Sock comes back to reconvene with you. He tells you their direction, and also tells you if you want, you could probably intercept them because there is a town along the way. Somehow Sock knows this.
Sock's badass.
Ferrets are badass.
I just want to say, the whole time I was skipping with him, I am singing a jingle.
You're singing a jingle?
I'm singing a jingle, and I know how much he hates it. but
Sing
I love
something.
it. Oh God, let me come up with a jingle. You talk while I come up with a jingle.
G. Gee, you gotta stop. You are going to alert everything of our presence. What are you doing now? Would you just calm down? What are you doing?
I really, really love me some pudding.
Oh
I
my.
really, really love some pudding.
It's an ancient song from our ancestors.
It's just really what
Sing the Jello theme. It's an old song.
It's ooey and creamy and oh so delicious. Oh, I don't know. I can't sing.
I'm totally gonna overlay that on you, saying, "Why are you doing this?"
Can I please just... She just needs to be like, I get knocked down.
But I
never did.
Actually, seriously, if you wanna reference modern music as old classical music, please do.
Oh.
On all levels, I'm down for
Okay,
that.
this is totally happening.
All right.
I would like to sneak by. I know that I'm slower when stealthy.
We're not moving at a fair
They're
fast
going.
pace.
They're
Right,
walking.
and they're
She's
slightly
skipping.
annoying.
And I'm annoyed to the point at which
Right.
I'm probably not going to be paying attention to my surroundings.
I mean, the other option is if you wanted to arc them and go faster than them, you would probably get
Duh.
there at the same rate. Because you are very speedy, if I recall.
I was singing the Ring of Fire in my head.
I wonder
I
why.
should have started singing it.
Halo of fire.
I fell into
The halo
of fire. It goes
Z,
high, high, high.
We don't have the rights!
Z pulls out
Their
a
song.
Z pulls out a pack of cigarettes and he like flicks one out. He's like, "Can you give me a light here?" And he like just like touches it.
Roll. I need
Okay.
you to roll.
Which one? 20?
Usually.
A 2.
Oh no.
I hit this. Can I re-roll?
No.
It hit my pen.
No.
That's a pencil.
It hit my pencil.
Even more reason for no.
For some reason, you don't think about it. Do you guys want a player intrusion?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
yes.
Here it
Yeah,
is.
I will never turn it down.
Your flame goes off way more because you weren't thinking about it. You were too busy thinking about your pudding song.
So true, though.
And the fire just engulfs him.
Oh, shit. Oh, darn.
I hope you have a backup pair of clothing because you're fine, but your clothes aren't. Your weapons are fine because they're metal.
My cape?
No, your cape's fine. Your cape is special, don't worry. We'll talk about it later.
So, yeah, I do. I have backup.
And all of the sand around him has melted. There's a small pit where he is. It's not glass though. It's just awful, burning, like it smells like toxic.
G, when I said I wanted a light, I did not mean
She's got her hand
I
up
wanted
'cause
to
she
be lit
doesn't want to see his
on
penis.
fire. And I gotta be honest with you, I do not appreciate this joke. And he flicks like what's left of the butt away.
You're really lucky. That is old man penis. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say the joke is your penis, but that's mean.
Right. So then he doesn't even like he's not even like phased by it. He's not phased by it at all. He just like
Did this happen previously, or is this the first time this has happened?
This is the first time.
Okay, that's what I wanted to check on.
Can you please, darling, put on some clothes?
I was getting there, but I figured you deserve some punishment and maybe some deterrent in the future for lighting me on fire.
I did not say I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please put on your clothes so I can give you a proper apology.
You do have backup clothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm prepared. This is what I do.
That's what you do.
I just like I drop my bag, flip it open, and I put on some trousers, and I pull out a vest. I'm like, this is my favorite vest. If you burn this vest, I will not forgive you.
I highly recommend using your flame proof.
On all
I
my
have that. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, now that you know that he can survive it, make sure his clothes can survive it in the future.
Just give me that.
And you can fireproof all your clothing.
All right, cool. So she fireproofs all of my clothing.
Your favorite vest included.
My favorite vest included, and I pull out of the thing because this goes with the vest. I pull out a pocket watch, and it goes in there. Got a little chain going, and he like cricks his neck, puts his cape back on. Thanks, I appreciate it. Now, how? I need to actually ask you a question because I am mildly impressed by how you did not manage to burn me at all. I did not feel a lick of that heat.
I,
You weren't trying not to burn me?
sorry.
Let's just go. And he shuffles out of the hole and starts walking.
And this it has slowed them down significantly, so you are very much ahead of them, Artemis.
Darn right I am.
As you're walking, Artemis, you happen upon a small group of villagers that seem to be from whatever this nearby village is that Sock told you about. And they are with an older gentleman they're moving really slowly. And they're, like, you're kind of coming in, and they are going to the west of you. Yes, I can probably do that. So, here's where your camp was. I'm so bad at maps, sorry.
No, it doesn't need to be perfect, just there's an idea of what's going on here.
Yes, southwest. Okay, so southwest. That's the direction you guys are traveling. This is the direction that he has gone to try and avoid you and intercept the camp. You are coming upon a group that is coming from the village going this direction. And they are being led by a man who has a single metal leg and a crutch. He just kind of there's no knee joint, so he just kind of swings it. But they're all being really kind and staying behind him as he sits there and yammers and yammers and yammers.
Trying to decide if I want to go be a part of the group and listen to the yammering, or if I just want to go into the city.
You don't have to, but you could go. You could do either, honestly.
I feel like I want to go to the city and basically try to find a hideout because I know where they're headed. But I don't want to be the random new guy immediately as they walk in.
Well, the other thing is you know that based on their trajectory, that group is probably going to also intersect with them because they are moving slowly.
How many are in the group?
There are, there's the old man who is leading the group. There's a woman, she has a shaved head and robes. She's most likely a nano, just based on your experience. And then there is a young man, who has long-ass dreadlocks and a giant hammer with jewels all over it.
I'm gonna slowly just join the group, just
Sneak on in there.
ferret up on the shoulder. And just kind of just nonchalantly walk into the group and just follow quietly.
Okay.
Just
The
blend into the couple of them as if they wouldn't notice.
The young man with the hammer looks at you. And he looks at you confusedly. He's like...
I bump my head up, just like, what's up?
Head bump.
Hold on, names. Hold on. Names.
Artemis, that's my name.
Alhiri. My name is Alhiri, and he hands you a handshake, and he seems a little flamboyant, if that makes sense. Like, he hands you his hand, and it's like his palm is down, and the top of his knuckles are up, almost as if he expects you to kiss his hand.
I grab the fingers, not the whole hand, and I curtsy.
He is impressed by this. He very much likes this. Which one? Where? Yes. So he goes, I didn't know that Blast was intending for anyone else to come on this party trip with us. And hearing this, the young woman in front of him turns around. She folds her arms and she goes, he wasn't. Who are you? And Blast finally stops. He was still talking, like he thought everyone was listening. You know, and in my day, they were all over the place with their guns and their... Wait, no one's listening to me. And he turns around and he sees you. He goes, are you the new one? The one that
You already forgot me?
The one that... Roll for it, please, because you have good lying. I was waiting for this.
I got an 8.
You succeed. Because you dropped... It was a difficulty 4, but for you, it's much easier, I
I
know.
was like, I know I'm just like deceiving, I'm trained.
So that makes it go down to a 3.
Lies, trickery, and illusions, I'm also trained.
What was it? You said it was a challenge.
It's a challenge 4, but he brings it down 2 levels with those 2 items.
Oh, okay.
So he makes it. He goes, yes, you're the Jack that Yamu talked about?
You got me.
Alhiri is immediately on board with this. He's like, oh, yes, my good friend, and he slaps his hand on your back. I'm sure that we will get along famously.
Do what I can. I look back at the big guy.
Fission is going to go along with it because everyone else is going along with it, but Fission is a little not sure about you.
I give him a wink.
Fission rolls her eyes and she keeps walking behind Bloss. As long as Bloss is cool with you being here, she's cool with you being here, basically. So you are gonna move forward with Bloss and his group. And not long, you run into this group of 4 that seem to be traveling further out into the desert, even though you can see the background of the city behind them. You can see it. It's kind of glossed over by a sand cloud that's just kind of seems permanently there. Maybe possibly to mirage or mask the town for safety.
That's pretty neat.
I have my ferret go off of my shoulder and run around to be a belt.
Why?
It's a belt.
Seems
It blends in with all your other furs.
it does.
Anyway, you happen upon this man who is continuing to talk about, back during the war, I was just such a strapping young man and the women wanted me, and he's just on and on and on. He never stops talking. No one else in the party talks. They kind of talk to each other, but yeah.
All of the women.
But sir, you're still a strapping young man.
Is that what you
That's
say?
what I say. I go straight up to him and that's what I say to him.
He turns and he holds up his walking cane like a gun.
Still a strapping young man.
And Zero walks up and is like, you really gotta stop startling people like that, dear.
I was just complimenting him.
And there's nothing wrong with a compliment, but you gotta present it right. You can't walk up you can't walk up on a veteran like that.
I'm extremely sorry, sir.
Are you wanting to empathize with him because you sense his veteran status?
Yeah.
I'm just being super polite. I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Sorry, my
Can you
niece.
Niece.
Sorry, my niece is a little rambunctious.
Can you roll real quick? I just want to see if he picks that up off of you as well.
10.
Most definitely. So Bloss recognizes, and the two of you exchange a glance, and you just nod at
We
each
do
other.
the old man
You
nod.
do the old man nod. Do you have any augmentations?
Yes.
Physical? What is
Yes,
it?
my left eye is.
Your left eye. Okay, so he sees your left eye, and he knocks on his leg. Got this during the war 15 years ago.
And Zero pulls up his shirt, and he's like, lost my left side of my rib cage.
Put your nipple away, sir.
Like,
They actually etched that in with the metal ribbing.
Yeah,
He comments.
they did actually. It was really just an aesthetic choice, I guess.
Very intricate.
Yeah. Ain't I seen you before?
How could you have?
Well, I never forget a face.
Roll for the deception. Terry, I need you to roll against him. Terry, I need you to roll against him.
Come on, Master Die.
Ah! Roll off! Roll off! It's two
17.
17s! Okay, unfortunately, though he doesn't pick up on it immediately, over time you do figure it out and you can choose whether or not you want to.
So yeah, it's like as we're walking, we just kind of, if we go with this group, right?
Well, you can choose to keep it to yourself, or you can choose to announce it.
Now. All right. I'll think on it, but
Oh, I forgot to give you a GM XP for deceiving. Continue.
I think I do know you, but I'm not sure where exactly right yet, but I'll come back to you. I'm gonna go talk to this gentleman over here now. And he walks over to Bloss. Now, what's this little expedition all about?
Well, we heard something coming from the desert, and I'm pretty sure that some old Numenera has malfunctioned down there. Now, We think that it's going to possibly cause issues with some of our artillery cannons for defensive reasons up on the wall.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I love how everyone has the same goddamn accent right
It
now.
just kind of happened. We're not sorry.
That was
about it.
always Bloss's accent, though. It's just so awful.
It makes sense. If there's some shin in there for me, I'll be happy to lend my assistance. I'm quite the accomplished engineer.
I don't know how much we can manage to spare, but you are welcome to anything we find on the expedition. We have no need for the items we find.
Sounds like a deal to me.
Uncle Zero, I want to go.
Of course you're going, little niece.
Well, I didn't know.
And he walks over, he's like, look, I don't really understand this Numenera stuff, so I need you to kind of take care of that into business.
Okay.
But I do need to try and get some more components, because I'm running out of shit for my traps. So we need to go do
I want to
some
know what
salvaging.
this Numenera thing is, so let's do the thing. And then I look at there's a girl in this group, right?
Yes.
She's the one with the shaved head?
She's the one with the shaved head. Her name is Fission. You guys have all been kind of chit-chatting. You and her are both nanos.
I've
So
taken a
you
liking
do
to
kind
her.
of both take a liking to each other. Nanos tend to immediately trust each other because no one else does.
I do want to point out right now that I am only 17.
Oh, you're young? Okay,
I
cool.
am young, and I am like 4'8".
She is much older than you. She is at least 35. But you guys do immediately take a liking to each other. She seems very experienced.
I'm 17 and 4'8". I'm really tiny.
Okay.
So I have like super long curly blonde hair. I'm very girl next door. But I go over to her and I kind of grab her hand. And I've just taken a liking to her. She's my best friend now. I don't
She's
get out
cool with
much.
this.
I don't get out much.
No, she's very much cool with this because,
We're
again,
nanos.
it's the nano thing.
We're friends now. All right. I just had to point that out.
And I'm up near Bloss, and I'm like, Bloss, what can you tell me about this town you're from?
Oh, well, I am from Ovan, the great city. Terry, I need you to roll a d20. This is an intellect check. It is a difficulty 5. But you get to lower that by 1 because you have, and so it's a difficulty 4 for you, and you can make it lower if you like. But if you want to just go for a difficulty 4, that is fine.
So you need a 12.
You need a 12 at least to succeed.
That's not a 12.
That is not a 12,
No.
but you can re-roll if you want to know. This is just to find some knowledge based on what he's saying about the town. Basically, whether or not you have preconceived knowledge. No, you're not worried about it? Okay. He's gonna give you as much as he can. So, Bloss explains to all of you that Ovan is the greater of the two cities, Ovan and Zeph. Zeph and Ovan have been at war for over 100 years. Because the two brothers that founded the two cities got in a squabble, and it just spread to their two cities. So they've just been at war for no good reason.
Interesting.
No one really knows the reason anymore.
Interesting. So that's why you need this here artillery cannon to be working.
Well, we've been at peace for 15 years. You know, since I got... He knocks on his leg again. Ding, ding, ding. This old thing.
Fair enough. So you just want it as a just-in-case type deal.
Oh yeah, you can't trust Zephanites.
Well, that's a misguided way to look at it if you're trying to maintain a peace. Ain't it?
Peace never really lasts long.
Look, I ain't one to disagree with you. Because it doesn't. But it is a better idea to try, is it not?
Okay. The Ovenites, which is the three, start singing a prideful patriotic tune. I need you to roll to see if you can subterfuge your way through it. And you just make it! That was a difficulty 6, you brought it down to a difficulty 4, you're just like, and so we will triumph over, etc., etc.
I can mumble a couple words for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You mean any American singing the American national anthem?
Zero's just kind of like looking at everybody. He's like,
I start singing because they're singing.
oh,
It's not the same song, but I start singing.
And the pudding will triumph again.
Probably. I really like pudding.
You start singing your pudding song.
Yes! They'll probably hate me, but it's fine.
Zero unholsters his buzzer, checks makes sure it's loaded. He's like, is there anything we gotta be worrying about out here?
Blas thinks. No, the only real thing that we've got around here are some, awful electric birds.
Well, you point them out, I'll bring them down.
I mean, they don't really give too much of a shit unless you got Numenera. You don't got Numenera, do you?
By golly, we sure do not.
Roll for it! Please! Oh my god! Thank God! You rolled a nat 20?
Can I ask for a major effect?
Go ahead.
That they've actually heard of me. I'm like an infamous bounty hunter, and they have heard of me.
No, I do not. And then someone finally puts it together. Fission puts it together. Fission goes, you're that bounty hunter. 0 watts. You don't believe in using Numenera, or rather, you're not good at it.
Well, miss,
Why would you carry something you can't use? So I think we should believe them, Blas.
she's absolutely right.
I'm just over here playing with my teddy bear. That's it.
Which, I feel like along the way, I've, fixed and kept repairing your teddy bear, because your teddy bear was not prepared for, a journey over the, and it's gotten, its arm ripped off, and so I sewed it back on.
Missing an eye.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's
Because
baby.
I'm prepared. I've got a thread kit, I'm sure. I've got, a little miniature sewing kit. I've kept my clothing patched and together.
He lost his leg, and it's a new leg. It's a different color.
Sure.
I just got really excited.
Yeah.
Now they match.
Does anyone want to try to find anything as you're going through the desert just during the walk? Do you want to... Okay, so does anyone want to do a perception, basically?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a lookabout check.
It's a fairly low difficulty. It's a difficulty 3. And I have different things you'll find depending on what you roll, too. 6, okay.
13. You're too busy trying to keep up the lie.
No, he still finds something. It'll be something very specific, though. So you rolled a 13? Okay, so, you actually find, sticking up out of the sand, the strange little artifact.
Okay.
It is what appears to be a key.
Like a big key, or just...
Think of it like a... Okay, so the most important shape in Numenera...
Oh, like the quadrant.
It's the lotus quadrant thing.
I'm not sure what to call it, but yeah.
This thing.
Okay.
It's shaped like that.
Interesting.
And it has a blue, you'll think it's a stone in the centerpiece.
How big is it?
It is roughly the size of your fist.
And it's just
It is not Numenera. It does not have a function as far as you can tell. You could possibly give it to her and she could possibly identify it further for you.
Sure.
But you find the quadrant lotus looking thing, and as far as you can tell, it seems to be a key. It turns. So, if you're messing with it, the blue spot turns the inner working of the circle. It changes the shape. It rotates similar to like a puzzle fan.
Awesome. This thing's quite. You got a bunch of this stuff lying around here, Blas? It almost sounded like I said boss, which works.
Blas looks at it and he goes, "No, I've never seen anything like that in my life."
Interesting. Hey, niece, get over here and take a look at this thing.
Skip over.
And I kind of flip it into her hand. I don't think it's Numenera, but it does look neat.
Okay, do you want to roll for what it is real quick? You rolled a 6 real quick, just so I remember, for your other stuff. Well,
You can spend.
It's a difficulty 3.
You can spend intellect to reroll.
She has the book, which is an asset. If you want to spend your XP to figure out what it is, you'll pretty much earn it right back when you identify it.
Okay, yeah.
So I'll take your XP. You can reroll.
Okay.
And that is a major success.
Minor.
So, minor success, either way.
Yeah.
So, the turning seems to actually, it probably, as far as you can tell, goes into another mechanism, and the turning of the center point would change. So it either unlocks something or it works like a gear, as far as you can tell. It is, quote-unquote, Numenera, but only because it's old. It's not a cipher. Are you guys sneaking Skittles under the table?
Yes, they are.
Wow, it took me this long to fucking notice too, didn't it? That's a whole bag gone, and that's been happening this whole time. I thought you two were playing footsie.
We did. That's where it started.
Probably. So
Sorry, anyway.
I messed with it, played with it for a little bit. Well, Uncle, it's a key or a gear.
Suddenly it clicks for you. This is your minor success. You ready?
Yes.
You saw this in a dream. This is most likely connected to the ruin that you are trying to find.
I slowly slide it into my pocket. And I give you a look.
Oh, you give me the it's part of my dream look?
It's part of my dream.
Slowly, just like
How does that
pretending like
look?
no one else sees me. I just
No, we've probably developed a symbol for this. It's like you just kind of point to the corner of your eye, and I'm like, nod. And then I go back and talk to Bloss. Okay, you stick your finger in your nose.
You, on the other hand, you find, what appears to be a weird opening. Like, you're just kind of walking around, skipping around. You trip on something.
of course I would.
It's metal, it kind of hurt your foot. Not bad.
Thank
Not bad.
I have it.
And it seems to almost be a hatch. You seem to have popped something, and as you look in it, there's this weird ferment smell that comes out of it.
Do I catch a whiff of that?
Yes.
Do I?
Uncle.
Yeah, if you want, go ahead.
Is it alcohol?
It could be.
Might not be.
You don't really know what this smell is. It's not like anything, it's not like any of the alcohols that you've ever partaken in.
Or, well, I mean...
It definitely smells like a fermentation, but not like anything that you've had made here. Most things in this universe are made of fruit and things that can thrive in a hot atmosphere.
Yeah, no, I meant like, when I said alcohol, I guess it should be more specific. Flammable alcohol. And explosive.
Yeah, no, it smells similar to a gas right now.
Okay.
So don't go near it.
Yeah, we should all... do you have any of those...
in particular.
Hey, Bloss, you got any of those, Numenera warning signs on hand?
He does not.
Well, crap.
Bloss goes, no, we don't. Oh, I forgot to tell you. We Overnights, we don't believe in Numenera.
You don't believe in them.
Oh, well, they exist. We don't think it's ethical to use them.
I'm not saying use it. I'm saying put a warning sign here so that no one...
No one in this party has any Numenera. At all. No ciphers.
Alright. Well, just take note of it and try to avoid
Because
it.
that would be a cipher.
Yeah.
Specifically is the other thing. That's why they asked if you had any.
My concern being someone maybe tripping this thing and making it go boom.
As I walk further away.
Bloss walks over to it. He sniffs it. Oh no, this is one of them old CeeLo what's-a-who's-its.
Greens?
What'd you say?
Greens?
CeeLo, what's it?
Oh, something from the ancient days. They used to store food in it.
You wouldn't know that.
Roll for it. She might have studied it.
School.
Numenera.
Knowledge, 17, bro.
It is technically a Numenera.
Sure.
You do know. So you know that the ancient people, primitive races, stored massive amounts of what was then called grain. Grain is not something we possess anymore. The grain has probably fermented because it's so old into a barley methanol.
Which is what you want.
I mean...
It is gas. It's like methane.
Yeah, it's nothing I can't bottle it or anything to use it.
It will burn, though.
Yeah.
So, in the event that this was necessary to,
Market
explode...
Yeah. And then, hey, niece, you might want to close that up. That gas does not smell like it's good for our bodies.
Someone else should close it, because I don't want to go near it.
Fine.
Fission uses her nanites to close it.
Thank you. I'm fire.
Meanwhile...
I am on fire.
Yeah, you're really lucky
That I didn't die.
that you didn't die.
Alright,
And then finally... Philip, Artemis, you find something strange sticking out of the sand, and you pick it up. Inside of what is like a crinkly substance, there's this yellow tube. It's kind of squishy, but the outside makes terrible crinkling noises.
I'm mortified trying to figure out what it is in the real life.
Are you? It's not obvious? Alright, let me lay it. Can I lay it down for him?
No.
Alright.
Oh, God.
There's a weird archaic writing on the front of it as well, with a weird, grotesque, like, caricature, cartoony version of the yellow tube inside.
I open it.
You open it and there's this weird, overly sweet smell. The cake, the thing appears to be edible.
My belt immediately eats it.
Your belt eats it?
My ferret's around my waist right now is a belt.
Your belt eats it. They bite
What are
into
you
it,
doing?
and in the center is a white, fluffy substance.
Mine went a different way at first, don't worry.
Jesus Christ.
That's all my mind went to is what it is. Things never die.
These ancients.
Congratulations.
Toxic device.
Sock now has a +1 to all speed rolls for the next 24 hours.
My belt is now vibrating.
Yeah, pretty much. So you continue forward, and you reach what Bloss has been yammering and like this whole time you're walking. Bloss just keeps talking. When we finally get to the thing, he calls it the installation. Now, as far as we know, this is not ancient tech. This is something that was built by the brothers Ovan and Zen. Ovan and Zeph.
Yeah.
There we go.
Zeph's son Milano. No? Okay.
Truthless of Shinovar. Anyway, so you come to the installation, and there is another group on the other side, and Bloss freezes, and Fission freezes.
Them Zeph folk you've been talking about.
Yes, and I don't know why they're here.
Probably the same reason you are.
Or to sabotage us. Maybe they're the ones that caused it.
Now let's not go jumping to conclusions. Why don't we go ahead and have a little powwow, sit down and talk about
As you say that, from across there's a small divot and a ravine across, like the installation is similar to a radio tower, if for just a basic comparison. There's a small pit, and they're on the opposite side, and from across the pit, there's a shot fired, what appears to be something similar to your gun.
Okay. I will do a reflex to get cover. Speed roll and find cover.
It seems to be, don't worry about it, it's being shot over your heads.
Warning shot?
It's a warning shot.
So I put my hands up real slow like. I say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey now, let's just talk about this before we go shooting and making mistakes. Ain't none of us want to make no mistakes.
Oh no. Artemis wants to do something.
I'm going to use my invisibility. I know that they don't believe in it, but I'm going to go invisible.
Alright.
Okay, so I actually need to roll because we never decided the difficulty of their Numenera.
Oh, the level of it? Oh, right. Level 1d6. It's a 1d6.
Oh, it's 1d6.
Yeah.
You can roll it. It's yours. So this is to determine how difficult it is for you to use the Numenera. Go for it.
5.
It's a difficulty 5. So you need to roll a 15 or higher to get it. However, because it does have to deal with stealth, I'm going to lower that difficulty to a 4. Do you have anything with regards to Numenera in your skills or abilities?
Other than your...
Unless I had a flex skill that
Yeah,
would...
you never decided your flex skill.
Well, the beginning of the day just started like 5 to 10 minutes ago. You guys, it's like 6 a.m. right now.
Right, but I don't know which ones I had available to choose.
All of them.
All of them. You can pick anything,
Yeah, you pick anything for your flex
including
skill.
using Numenera.
Sure.
Okay, so that lowers it to a difficulty 3 for using this Numenera. So you have to roll a 9 or higher.
Nope.
You can spend an XP though, if you wanted to re-roll to try and use it. Go for it.
11.
So you succeed. So Artemis vanishes.
I feel like I'd be at least behind the crowd before I did it. Just...
If anyone was paying attention, Artemis vanishes, though.
I was totally watching.
The only one that notices is Alhiri, but he keeps his mouth shut because he likes you. Alhiri was kind of like next to you the whole time, so he was chatting you up.
Real hard.
Now, what say you?
What's cipher level?
That's what you just did.
That's what you just rolled.
Right, but...
Roll 5.
Okay, so I'm invisible for 5 minutes.
Yes. It's equal to the cipher level. So, since this is currently in real time, unless we go into a combat, I'm going to time it.
I want to figure where is the deal happening.
We are literally at the center point.
Right. So if we're on one side and they're on the other, I'm going to creep to this end, like
Oh,
the
you wanna
middle,
come to the
on
middle?
the outside.
So here's this group.
Good
There's
party.
5 of you, and there's only 4 over on that side.
Right.
So you're holding your hands up. Are you doing anything over there, Gianni?
I'm kind of in the background because I don't know how they feel about my type, so.
Well, folks, you could probably consider me a sort of arbitrator, as I am not tied to one city or the other. So you could call me a neutral party. My niece and I are both neutral parties.
The woman who shot the warning shot yells across, "Then step away from the Orvanites!"
Now, I have a better plan than that, and the better plan is this. Why don't we all step forward, explain why we're here, because I have a guess as to why we're here. And if we are all here for the same reason, there ain't no reason why we shouldn't work together to solve the problem.
First, you prove your neutrality. Move to the side.
Origins of the Fall is a Numenera-derived podcast. Monte Cook Games logo, Numenera, and the Numenera logo are trademark of Monte Cook Games, LLC, in the U.S.A. and in other countries. All Monte Cook Game characters and character names, and the distinctive likenesses thereof, are trademark of Monte Cook Games, LLC. Content in this podcast is derived from Monte Cook Games publications, and they're copyrighted 2013 to 2017, Monte Cook Games, LLC. All music in this podcast, however, was created by Wastebin Productions, and we hope that you'll support us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/thatwastebin. See you next time.